Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the review. This time is the Mezco Toys 112 Evil Dead 2 Ash Williams. So, let's get started. Where do I even begin? Um, I like Evil Dead. I like Army of Darkness. I like Bruce Campbell. So this is one of those things where it was a triple whammy for me, and it worked out. Wasn't expecting it to come in when it did, but here I am with it, and I want to talk to you about why I enjoy it. Let's move it up. So the first thing that we notice is that it uses the Joker body. So if you're familiar with Mezco and you are familiar with Joker body, you already know what you're getting articulation-wise. But again, if you've never seen any of my videos, the first thing I'm going to do is go over that. So we're going to start with the head. So the head is on a single joint like the Joker. It is the neck actually connected to the head, which normally with the Mezco stuff, it's a neck joint that's connected to the body and then to the head. With this one, it's a little different. It's a neck connected to the head all together as one piece. And it changes the articulation a bit. So real quick, let me just rotate this up a little bit higher. That being said, you rotate it back. You can go down. So you don't get all of the standard posing that you would get with other Mezcos, but I think it's actually still okay. I prefer the other way than this one, but I can deal with this because you can still get most of the expression that you want to get out of this. The other thing being is that, like on the Joker body, it uses a single joint for the arms. So as you can see, I can rotate them up, can rotate all the way around, 360 degrees. Obviously, you can't do that on the arm with the cloth. It's a little bit more difficult because cloth is going to hinder that. As you can see here, it is a single joint. What I recommend you do if your joints are stiff is that you heat it up with a hair dryer, because with the Mezcos, you obviously can't dump it in water unless you want wet clothing, you know? But once I heated mine up, my jaws came a little softer. As you can see, it rotates here, but it still has a lot of friction, which causes it to hold the weight under whatever item you want it to, which is pretty dope. The ab articulation is almost non-existent going forward as an ab crunch, but it does rotate left and right very easily. There is a lower crunch though at the waist. You can actually use that to tuck in a little bit, but nothing too crazy. But it does add that extra ab crunch that is lacking at the upper half, so you actually get something. As far as the legs go, they're actually pretty dope because standard Mezco, you can move it forward and it's double jointed. So you can do crouching poses or you can walk up steps. You can get natural poses out of this one, so that's pretty good. And one thing I've noticed that they've been working on is actually the ankle pivot. So while it's not the best, it is a huge improvement over what they could have done before. And as you can see here, it actually rotates a ton better. It's almost non-existent before, so it's something that they're actively looking to change. So while some steps are taken forward to some people, some are also taken back. Not really an issue on my end. I'm going to make it work with what I have, but I'm not everybody. Next up, we're going to talk about the pouch for his sawed-off shotgun in the back. This is actually pretty cool. From what I can tell, it is not removable, but you can actually remove the top somehow. I believe I see a small latch there that actually, let me actually change my focus a little bit. I believe there's a small latch here that allows you to remove it. Haven't had a chance to test it yet, but I do believe it's there. Didn't notice it before, but it's actually here. You get a nice claw mark right across for battle damage, which is pretty good. You have nice scars across the face. And you have the blood that is soaked into the shirt pretty much and top of the pants. So you do get a nice look for Ash Evil Dead 2. I actually enjoy it a lot. And I think it actually does capture some of the Bruce Campbell look. Not all of it, obviously, but it is there. It's definitely there. I think a little pink could go a long way here. Now, as far as accessories go, we're going to talk about that right now. The first thing I want to talk about is you get the Necronomicon. So this is important to Evil Dead fans. Can't say, it's not important. It's very important, actually. It does not open, but you do get the book. And that is better than no book at all, which is pretty dope. Next up, you do get the sawed-off shotgun. It's not openable like the Punisher weapons that we normally see and get, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but hey, it's whatever, right? You also get one hand to hold that. It actually should hold it very easily. You just wrap around, hold on to it just fine. That's on the left-hand side. You don't get one for the right-hand side. Now, then you also get, oh, wait, actually, that was the wrong hand. It just happened to work out that way. So this hand is actually for holding the Necronomicon. So that's crazy because it also holds the shotgun just fine. But I'm correcting myself. It actually holds the Necronomicon. And for a trigger hand, actually, we have the trigger hand right here. So as you can see, the finger's out a little bit more. So we're going to rotate that on. And this one actually holds it just as well. So you can actually use either one. But one is definitely designated strictly for the Necronomicon. What you also get is a Deadite head. And this actually looks really dope. I love this and the way it looks. It looks really, really dope. I love it. It can't connect to his, but, you know, if you have some stuff laying around and you want to do some crazy things, I think this is the perfect horror head to have. You also get the Deadite hand. It's really, really nice. And it's pretty much the fuck you symbol. You know, it's telling them, so excuse me to children who are watching, I apologize. But this is really dope to add this in. Thought it was really nice. Next up, we're going to go with the Bloody Ash head. This is really dope. I think this definitely captured the Bruce Campbell look. I think it spotted it really, really well. The blood obviously looks dried up in some spots, but I think it's just my light. I think it'll look a lot better in photos. And it also accompanies this head to match its scars. So it's actually pretty cool. And that's the part about this that I really, really like. So while he's better here and the scars are healed, you can actually go with the before right here. So I think that's something that's really cool, and the attention to detail to that is really nice. Then you get the Deadite head for Ash. So you can pop that on and you can show him as a Deadite. Or a zombie or whatever it is you want to call it. But I think this is probably the best head in my opinion. Because it's so nice. It's really, really dope. And again, this one also have the scars. So it's like the attention to detail to the little thing that goes a long way for the movie wise is actually a lot of fun for me. So, with that all being said, I've covered just about all the things I can cover naturally. So now we're going to get into the size comparisons. And the first thing I want to do is I want to compare it to the NECA stuff that I do own. Because I don't own the NECA Ash, but I do own the bad guys, which are the Deadites. And here we are with one of them right here. So size-wise, I think this actually scales really, really well. So this is one of those things where shout out to companies for making things actually work really well together. And then we have a Demon Spawn. And these are the only two types that I own. I think Demon Spawn I army built because I just love the way they look. And as you can see, Ash versus them, I think they all accompany each other and complement each other very, very well. So swapping in and out or not having everything in your line and using things to supplement it, make it very cool. And I think that's something that's been going on in the toy world for a while, and I really enjoy it. So I use my NECA stuff to supplement for the things I couldn't get before. I missed out on one thing, and here I am with these. So these are really cool, and I'm glad they actually work really well. Holy crap. You know what I just realized? I forgot to talk about this. Chainsaw. I left it off to the side. I totally forgot. So I want to jump into that real fast. The chainsaw is really, really dope. It's cool. It's covered in blood. It does not have any type of rotating features, but it's just nice to see. And real quick, I'll show you that. It really just pops in very easily. And voila. Actually, I'm going to leave that on because I like to look at that. And I'm so sorry I forgot. I was just all over the place. But another horror thing I actually have is the Figma Nurse. Don't really have a pyramid head. I don't know why I missed out on him. But the Figma Nurse is actually pretty tiny next to him. But like I said, perspective-wise, it could work out. So the Nurse is actually significantly smaller, but it still works in my opinion. Here he is next to another Mezco figure, which is Spider-Man. I happen to have him out as well. So Spider-Man and him are about the same size. Works out pretty well. Spider-Man may be a tad bit taller, but his body's also different. But I think they work well together, size-wise. Here he is next to a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. And as you can see, Mezco and Marvel Legends Hasbro stuff pretty much in scale with each other, which is pretty good for those of you going to do that kind of stuff. Next up, here he is next to an Articulated Icons Ninja. So as you can see, ninjas for AI actually are a little bit smaller, but they scale well with just about any and everything. Next up, here we have a Kamen Rider Kuga, who most SHF is actually significantly smaller. And that proves to be it here, because he's also smaller as well. So it goes to show you what it is. Next up, we're going to compare it to a Mythic Legions. I happen to have one here, so I'm like, you know what? Let's put them out. And the Mythic Legion stuff is actually pretty big, but it's still pretty cool. And I like this stuff. So as you see, the Mythic Legion stuff is bigger, but it actually looks really good next to the Mezco stuff, which is pretty cool. And I like that. It's really good. So, with all that being said, I think I've covered everything. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Hopefully. And if I did, I'll try to edit it in the video. In the meantime, guys, though, I hope you found it informative. Hope you enjoyed. Most of all, I hope you do good, be good, drink your water. Later.